Do you know what I like to do after I get done watching Coco Gauff win the French Open? I like to look at some baseball cards. I wanna say some things. Before I do that, I want to show you a couple things. So Steve Stewart had reached out to me. He wanted to send me an item he thought I would appreciate. And man, you know, the hobby community can be such a wonderful community. There are so many good people in it. And so he sent me a package. And man, this had to be like 2 months ago. And I'm like, I never got it. And yesterday it just showed up out of the blue after all this time. And he sent me, and I had never seen this before. Never even seen this before. This is from 1969. And it's some sort of a Pittsburgh Pirate plaque. Steve, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. If any of you have much information on these, let me know. I wanted to share with you a card that is a special card. Now, every card and every player on a card has a story. And for me, collecting isn't always about what number's on the card, what the card's worth. A lot of times it's about the card itself and just wanting to have a copy. This is a 1959 Lou Burdett. Now this card is interesting because Lou here, if you look at his glove, he put it on the opposite hand and he's posed like he's a left-handed pitcher. And he did that just as a prank to Topps. Now, it's not a short print. It's not an expensive card. I mean, maybe in a 10, it might sell for $800 million, but, you know, it's a card, it's a few bucks, but it's just one of those cards that is cool, and I want to have it in my collection. Many of you may be familiar with that. Oftentimes on these cards, and I find them all the time, you look through a card and you never notice certain things like this. So if you weren't aware of it, I wanted to share it with you. A really cool card. Now, I spoke on a video recently, just basically talking about some of my frustrations with the modern hobby and just my feelings. And you know, right after that, a hobby friend of mine, Brent Richards, did a video saying that he wasn't going to be doing YouTube videos anymore. And I've seen several people do response videos to that. And, you know, Brent is a friend who I text with all the time. And you know, I know he's been frustrated with the hobby like I have, and I know we're not alone. And, you know, when people always comment, oh, I drown out the drama, I ignore everything, and, you know, it's a better place for me. And I get that. You know, I don't really watch the news anymore for that reason. And for me, I have always lived my life zero drama. Zero. None. I put drama out of my life. Aside from your health, all drama is man-made. It's all man-made. You know, I mean, if somebody hits you in a car accident, there's nothing you could do about that. But I'd say 99% of drama, aside from health, is man-made. And I put it out of my life. Anytime growing up, if I had a friend that put me in uncomfortable positions, or I thought he was going to get me into trouble, he wasn't my friend long. And as an adult, I'm the same way. When people make me feel uncomfortable or they're always bringing drama to me, I put them out of my life. But there are some things that affect you, whether you ignore them or not. You can't just ignore certain things. It's like those of us who were old enough when 9/11 happened. You know, it was awful. We all remember where we were. Now, I could just turn off the TV when that was happening. Didn't mean it didn't happen. Didn't mean it didn't happen. It's not drama, it's reality. You know, if there's, to use an analogy, if there's a politician who wants to double my home taxes, my property taxes, I could turn off the TV, I could stop listening to him, but my property taxes might double. Like, it may affect me, even if I don't want it to, even if I don't watch. So maybe there's something I can do about that. Maybe I could spread the word to my neighbors who might not know that he's going to double my property taxes. Maybe I can campaign for the person running against him. Maybe I can run for office myself. But to just turn off the TV, not look at YouTube, just turn everything off, it's not going to change anything. So when you tell me, don't get wrapped up in the drama, it's one hobby and everything affects us, whether we watch it or not. It's like I can no longer buy new cards, or I don't choose to because of the prices, and I'm not going to get any hits. That's an outcome and the product of the new hobby. It affects me, whether I want it to, whether I'm paying attention or not. So I'm no longer buying new cards. That's just one small way that the overall hobby can affect me. And now I see my man Brent not wanting to do videos anymore. And, you know, I see these responses and they're valid. Like I saw Mike Baseball Collector's response and I get what he's saying. But you know what? Sometimes when the things you see bring you down, you know, it can affect your mood. Sometimes in life, other things can affect you. And it might be other things that cause that more so than what somebody's even saying. Maybe there's something going on in someone's life. I know oftentimes when I get into a bad mood or something just happened, you know, I sometimes feel more frustrated. It enhances something I might see, you know, in a hobby. I'll give you an example. I was searching for this super rare set, any card from it. I just wanted a card from this super rare set. I found one. I found one at a decent price. I bought it. I was so excited. eBay made it go to authentication. Gets out to California, and it's paused. It's not moving. It's not moving for days and days and days. I inquire with the seller. The seller inquires with UPS. I get a phone call from UPS. My package has been stolen internally. Should have never had to go to California. Super rare card. I may never see another one as long as I live. That day, I felt like quitting the hobby. It was so bitter of an experience for me. It felt so dirty and unpure and like I was a victim of something. And that just went along with other things I'm seeing, other thefts and this and that. And now it's affecting me. And I got over it. I was texting with fellow YouTubers. I was really down. But I got over it. We go through these. I wanted to talk to content creators who may be feeling the same way Brent is feeling. You know, I do YouTube videos for myself, first and foremost, and secondarily, to share any knowledge I may have. And I enjoy kind of giving my thoughts when I think other people can relate to them, or other people may be going through the same thing that I'm going through. Because I think as human beings, we are all alike in certain ways, and we tend to think the same way. If you're thinking something, chances are other people are thinking that too. They just might not be voicing it. And so I want to talk to content creators now, because I just want to tell you about my experience on YouTube. You know, some people start a YouTube channel as a business, and they might have 30 people working for them and promoting them. Some people buy subs, and it's a totally different thing than if you're just a collector coming on here and showing cards and talking about the hobby and meeting people and interacting. It's a totally different thing, you know, to do what I do. I literally come up with my ideas 2 minutes before I hit record on my phone. That's what I do. I don't put into most of my videos a whole lot of time or effort. I just enjoy making them. I enjoy sharing them. Maybe I get something in the mail. Maybe I have an idea hit me. Maybe I see something that triggers a thought and I want to share it. So for the most part, it's that simple for me. It takes up very little time, and I enjoy doing it. I think sometimes we put too much pressure on ourselves as content creators. You know, when I first started out, I just threw some videos up. I didn't think anybody would even look at them. I was just doing it to share my collection. I have a Facebook page, and I wanted to put them on there. As an afterthought, I put them on YouTube. And I didn't have any viewers. I didn't have any subscribers for the longest time. And then Dave Blue Jacket 66 gave me a shout out, stumbled on me. And then Mike Baseball Collector stumbled on me and gave me a shout out. And all of a sudden, I'm at like 230 some subs. And I stayed there for a while. And they would trickle in. And I remember when I finally got up to 700, I must have crossed 700 and come back 20 times. I could not get over 700. Just kept going back and forth and back and forth. It took a very long time. You know, nowadays the new channels seem to get to 1,000 very quickly, because I think there's a much broader audience than when I got on. And I remember I met my friend Rick when I hit 1,000 subscribers. Because Rick did a video, and he was basically busting my chops that how could I hit 1,000 before him. He hit 1,000 like a week after me. And that interaction of his video made me get to know him. I didn't know him that well. And at first, I didn't even know how to take that video. But he was having fun, and he was just joking around. And that's how I came to know him, and then started interacting with him in a better way. Many of the friends I have made on YouTube were doing video responses for me, and I didn't know them at the time. And I didn't even know, they watched my videos or whatever until I saw some video responses from people I was quite frankly surprised would even take the time to do one for me. And that allowed me to get to know them better. And this is after I've been on YouTube for a while. And just when I think, I don't know if people are really liking what I'm doing. Do they want to see the cards I'm showing? I don't have fancy graphics. I'm just on here. I learn about the YouTube Sports Card Hall of Fame. And I've only been making videos just over a year. The rules were different back then. And I got elected. And I was like, well, maybe people are enjoying what I'm doing. That was the first time I ever thought that. I didn't, it wasn't that I cared, because I was really doing the videos for myself. And then after I got to know YouTube better, it was more to interact with everybody, meet people, because I started to meet people. And I hear this narrative going around that Sammy Thunder did a video that he doesn't think we embrace newer hobby participants or channels. And I don't know if that's true or not, but it's not my experience. I always share new channels that I find, and I embrace them. People come up to me at card shows and at the National and introduce themselves. I talk to them a long time. I walk the floor with them. I invite them back to the Misfits house. I get their numbers. We text afterwards. It is not my experience at all that this vintage community is a closed-knit community. I find it to be quite the opposite. Now, it might require a little effort on your part to engage, but, we can't just go out there and find people we don't know exist. But I find us to be a very welcoming community, personally. But first and foremost, I think you should make content for yourself. You should show what you like to show. It doesn't matter if the masses don't want to see it. But then again, if you're not getting enjoyment out of it, if you're so frustrated with the hobby that it brings you down so much you don't even want to look at it and so forth, then, maybe you shouldn't make videos anymore. You shouldn't bring negativity into your life. I know I don't. Just because I talk about things that are going on in a hobby and this and that, and I don't choose to put my head in the sand and ignore it all, doesn't mean I'm welcoming negativity into my life. I'm actually trying to spread the word and maybe do a little something about it. My mom always told me, don't complain about something unless you're going to do something about it. And, oftentimes when I do a video, I will hear other people repeat things that I say. We are all influenced in one way or another on here. I don't care how small your channel is. I don't care how small your collection is. I don't care that your collection isn't worth anything. If I've watched your video, chances are I've been influenced and probably even bought a card you showed. That's God's truth. We all influence each other. And only through sharing of knowledge, sharing of opinions, we can change anything. Now, not everybody's going to agree with you. When you are on YouTube, some people just don't like your face. They look at you and they hate you immediately. Some people just don't like your face. Some people don't like what you have to say. Some people, if you give your opinion and they disagree with it, hate you. They think you're speaking directly to them. They take offense to it for some reason. It's just life. It's just life. I learned a long time ago I can't be friends with everybody, and there are many people I don't want to be friends with. I don't like the human beings that they are. I've always judged my friends on basically two things and two things only. That is how they treat me and what their character's like. And they have to have both. They can have good character, but they're shitty to me. I'm not going to be friends with them. But they could be real nice to me, but they have bad character. I can't be friends with them either. Those are really the only two things that matter to me. Brent, I'm sorry to see you go. I hope you reconsider. I suspect there's more going on. And for those of you who are newer doing content, and don't let it get you down. Just do your own thing. Do your own thing. I always say I want to be like Bob Ross. I would watch Bob Ross paint. I don't have an artistic skill in my body when it comes to painting, but I find myself watching him. He was soothing. He entertained me. And I get comments where people say, I don't collect cards. I used to collect cards. I haven't collected cards in years, but I still watch you. I love that. They want to, still look at cards and still hear about some history. I just think that's amazing. And for those of you who are commenters or thinking about doing your own videos, and we have new people doing videos all the time. Do it. Turn your phone on, hit record, give your thoughts, show some cards. What are your favorite cards? Get to know some people. And let me know. Tag me in your video, I'll share it. These are weird times in a hobby, especially for people who are older and have been in it a long time. And times change, you know? It is what it is. I see a lot of changes going on. You know, we have this movement to eye appeal and people paying up for lower numbers on their cards. And I see a lot of anti-grading stuff happening now. I see a lot more people using Mag Pros and thinking for themselves. I think a lot of that movement happens because people start talking about it. You see live streams. You know, that's the other thing. And I've invited new people on live streams with my Misfits channel and to partake in what we do. When I was first starting out, I used to watch these live streams and I always felt like I was out of the loop. I was like, oh, wow, I've never been invited on a live stream. That'd be pretty cool. You know, I felt like that early on because I had been doing videos for a while. And then people started inviting me and I got into the flow. And then when I was doing live streams, I started inviting people. That's just the way it is. You know, people shouted me out and I'll shout other people out. It's just a natural progression. And we will always have channels that leave, people that leave the hobby, people having life issues, things going on, and new channels replace them. That's life. That's nature. That's nature. So that's what I have for you. Those are my thoughts. Great Lou Burdett card. And Steve, thank you again. This is what's wonderful about our community. Thanks for hanging out with me. Thanks for listening.